Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. Today we're making a recipe that dates back hundreds of years in a dish that was typically made by farmers and common people as it uses affordable ingredients and is packed with so many nutrients. We're talking Spanish poor man's potatoes and onion sauce. This is known as Patatas a lo Pobre in Salsa de Cebolla. Let me tell you, this dish is filled with so many simple yet delicious flavors. It's easy to make, and the best part, it's all done in about 40 minutes using just one pan. Folks, serve these potatoes next to your favorite protein in a crunchy baguette, and of course a bottle of Spanish wine, more specifically from the region of Jumilla. You can have yourself a taste of Spanish history. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. The Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of artisan Spanish ingredients like queso manchego, the famous jamón serrano and jamón iberico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the spices you need and basic pantry staples such as extra virgin olive oil, which we're going to use in today's recipe, among so many other great ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have an amazing selection of authentic Spanish paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings, and even offer classic grilling systems. That way you can always perfectly cook your paella. Folks, visit Tienda.com, let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there, and make sure you use coupon code ONAFORK during checkout for 10% off your order. Alright, let's begin by prepping our ingredients. I'm going to cut 1 kilogram of potatoes, which is 2 1/4 pounds, or about 4 medium-sized potatoes that have already been peeled, washed, and patted dry. Each one into bite-sized pieces that are 2 centimeters, which is 3/4 of an inch. I'm using Yukon Golds, but you can use whatever potatoes you like. Then we'll cut 1 large onion into small slivers. I'm using a typical yellow onion, but you can also use a red onion or even a sweet onion if you prefer. And we'll also roughly chop 4 cloves of garlic and finely chop 1 green bell pepper. For the next step, let's start cooking our dish. I'm going to heat a large fry pan with a medium heat. You can also use a stock pot here if you like. And add in 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. Of course, you can use other types of oil here if you like. It's just extra virgin is what's typically used in Spain. Leave where you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. After a couple minutes, we'll add in the chopped vegetables, except for the potatoes. And we'll mix the ingredients around, that way they're all coated in the olive oil. And as you know, I like to mix this around continuously, that way everything evenly sautés. After about 5 minutes, and the onions are slightly translucent, I'm going to add in 1 1/2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, which is 12 grams. And we're going to continue to mix this and go for about 2 minutes on the flour. This is enough time to cook off the raw flavor in it, that way it doesn't overpower the flavors of the dish. After cooking the flour for about 2 minutes, I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of dry white wine, which is 120 milliliters. If wine is not your thing, you can sub it for any broth of your choice with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. We'll also add in 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme, which is 1/2 gram, and 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, which is a little over 1/2 gram. And we'll give it a mix and then simmer it for a few minutes. After about 2 to 3 minutes and the alcohol has been cooked off in the wine, we'll add in the chopped potatoes and season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a mix until it's well mixed together. Once everything's well mixed, we'll add in some broth, just enough to barely cover the ingredients, which is 3 1/2 cups in my case, or 860 milliliters. I'm using vegetable broth, but you can also use chicken broth or even beef broth if you like. Either way, link on how to make my homemade veggie broth in the description box below. And then we'll turn it up to a high heat and give it a gentle mix. Once it comes to a boil, we'll place the lid on the pan and lower the fire to a low-medium heat. And we're going to simmer this between 15 to 20 minutes until the potatoes are just cooked through. And you want to make sure to give the pan a gentle shake once in a while, as that's going to help thicken up the onion sauce. After simmering the potatoes for about 20 minutes, I'm going to remove the lid. And at this point, the potatoes should just be cooked through. You know, you can always pierce them with a toothpick just to ensure that they're done. If you see that yours need more time, you simmer this for a bit longer and add in more broth as needed. For the final step, I'm going to remove the pan from the heat, transfer the potatoes and sauce into a serving dish, and top it off with some chopped fresh herbs. I'm using chives, but you can also use parsley or even cilantro. Either way, check it out. Our Spanish poor man's potatoes and onion sauce are done. Easy to make, beautiful presentation, and all done in about 40 minutes using just one pan. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Once again, folks, patatas a lo pobre en salsa de cebolla. This looks absolutely delicious. Can't hold the plate today, it is too hot. Here we go. Gotta do one more there. For me, another dish from the humble Spanish kitchen. We list this more, and the simple things are the best things. Because we got such affordable ingredients, we got so many flavors out of this. Potatoes are beautifully cooked, kept their shape that they smell in your mouth. And that sauce taking this to the next level with the onions really shining through. Easy to make, heart healthy. Give these potatoes a try at home. Once again, next to your favorite protein, a garden salad, and a bottle of Spanish wine from the beautiful region of Jumilla, you have yourself a fabulous meal. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Grace Swadeth, Alan M. Hirschman, and Jean. Again, guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button. Leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.